Namaste! Tuesday story time. Recognize him? Of course. We all know President Abraham Lincoln, and we all know that the Civil War was fought during Lincoln's presidency. Much against Lincoln's wishes, some of the states separated from mainland USA, they formed their own country, CSA, Confederate States of America. They elected their own president, Jefferson Davis. They issued their own coins and currency, and they seceded or separated from the United States of America. But Lincoln, as president, had taken the oath of office. He had sworn that he would protect the Constitution, protect the Union, protect the federal territory, and keep all the states within the United States of America. So some states opting to walk out of the Union was against the Constitution, and Lincoln was sworn to protect the Constitution. And thus began the Civil War. The Civil War actually began when the Southern forces captured Fort Sumter. Major Anderson sent an urgent request for arms, ammunition, and food supplies. Lincoln sent a telegram saying, "Arms, ammunition, soldiers, and food supplies are on the way. Don't surrender. It is federal territory. Do not surrender. Help is on the way." But within 3 days, really hungry and really tired and not really sure if help was really on the way, Major Anderson surrendered and Fort Sumter fell into the hands of the separatists. When help arrived, the fort had already been surrendered to the Southerners. But the army got a very clear message. Throughout the Union Army, the message said, if President Lincoln says help is on the way, then help is on the way. If you have to fight hungry, fight hungry. If you're down to the last man, then fight it, even if you're down to the last man. If you're down to the last 10 bullets, continue the fight. Because if honest Abe says he will send help, he will send help. So that way, Lincoln gave his credentials to the army. He said, I will give you what you want. You want men, you want ammunitions, you want help, it will come. But you have to save the Union. And he did. As and when possible, everywhere, all the time, Lincoln gave the best of the best to the army. Even then, the Civil War was just not ending. USA versus CSA. The war kept going on and on and on. So finally, one day, Lincoln called a meeting of the War Council. He said, when will this war end? Haven't we lost enough men already? I don't want a never-ending civil war on my hands. I want to finish this. When will this war end? What more do you want? I mean, I tried to give you everything you asked for. What more do you want? I want you to end this war. Just tell me what you want. And then the army generals explained the problem to Lincoln. There were many people who had to be arrested. But there was no proof against them. There was no evidence. And the law said that the charge sheet had to be filed within a limited number of days, failing which the army had to apologize and let the man go scot-free. Because of this, many people who were being anti-USA right under the nose of the army could not arrest them. I mean, the army knew that these people were working for the separatist CSA. The army knew that these people were anti-USA, but the army did not have solid evidence, so the army was unable to arrest them. And they explained this to Lincoln. They said, if we can arrest some of these people, then we can win the war quickly. Just give us more power. Lincoln immediately amended the Hebeas Corpus Rule. Lincoln immediately amended the Hebeas Corpus law and allowed the army to arrest people on suspicion and allowed the army to file a charge sheet whenever it wants to. There was furor against the amendment of the habeas corpus petition. Way back, even in that time, Lincoln had to deal with a horrible media that was totally against him. Lincoln had to deal with newspapers and press reporters that were calling him all sorts of names. Oh, you have given too much power to the army. Oh, the army is going to arrest people unnecessarily. Oh, the army is going to seek personal revenge by arresting innocent people. Oh, you're making the army too powerful, and this is going to be very wrong in the long run. His own cabinet members, especially Salmon P. Chase, that is Salmon P. Chase, by the way, he even looks a little cruel. Salmon Chase, he saw this as an excellent opportunity to upstage Lincoln and become the president himself. He never really liked Lincoln. The son of a woodcutter becoming the president of the United States? Salmon Chase never liked Lincoln. He was the son of a woodcutter. So this was an excellent opportunity for Salmon Chase to, upstage Lincoln and fulfill his lifelong ambition of becoming the president of the United States. Even William Seward, one of Lincoln's best friends, in public, Seward continued to support the amended habeas corpus bill. But in private, he told Lincoln, this is going to cost you, and if it costs you, it's going to cost me for standing by you. Lincoln called a meeting of the cabinet and the war council, and I quote, and Lincoln said this very, very clearly, and I quote, Lincoln said, I am not going to take back the law. The amended habeas corpus bill stays. You want this bill retracted? Elect a new president. I am willing to resign. But so long as I am the president, I am not retracting the law. I am not going to clip the wings of the army. You want to do that? Go find another president. I am not going to do it. He was willing to risk his presidency, and at that time, the risk was very real. Lincoln is now loved by all, but at that time, there were many in his cabinet who wanted to see him go. There were many people who were more than happy to have his resignation. But Lincoln made it very clear. The amended habeas corpus law stays. Okay? Military strategists will give you a lot of reasons as to why the Union USA Army was able to defeat the separatist CSA Army. This strategy and that strategy. But looking at it from a slightly legal point of view, giving more power to the army, allowing army to arrest people, allowing army to hold people under suspicion was one of the primary reasons why the Civil War ended, and the Civil War ended quickly, and the Civil War has not continued for decades and decades in the USA. Abraham Lincoln was a great man, a man who was willing to resign rather than clip the wings of the army. We will never have another Abraham Lincoln. Never. But if there is any leader who is even 25% of Abraham Lincoln, then he is worth it. Believe me. Okay. Bye-bye.